Okay, so now that you guys know a lot about posterior, anterior, and lateral different approaches to hip replacement, we're going to work a little bit with what a physical therapist would do. So Nate here we're going to be working with has had a posterior approach, so we're going to be working with those precautions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take you through what a physical therapist would do in a situation like this, specifically probably on the first day that they see them. So the first thing I would do when I came into the room with Nate here would just be to introduce myself like any other situation. So I would say, hi Nate, I'm Eric, going to be your physical therapist today.
Okay.
You ready to get up and get moving?
I am.
Alright, so the first thing I would ask Nate, who's being very sarcastic for some reason, is that I want to ask him about his house. So I want to ask him if he has stairs in his house. So do you have stairs in your house?
I do not.
Do you have stairs going into your house?
Nope.
Okay, so that's a good thing to use a walker for. So we're probably going to use a walker for him. But the next thing I'm going to do is just teach him the general precautions, which we've gone through, but I'm just going to reiterate them for the patient because they're very important to teach the patient. So you want to have no hip flexion beyond 90 degrees, no internal rotation, and no adduction beyond neutral. So that's why we have him in this abduction wedge here so that he doesn't go past neutral. And that's why we have the back of this reclined a little bit so that he's not in any hip flexion. So the three exercises that are typically done for a total hip replacement patient would be ankle pumps first. So obviously you guys know what ankle pumps are, so we're just going to go up and down. Do about 25 of those or so. The next we're going to do is quad contractions. So with that, the easiest thing to do is put your hand under the patient's knee and just have him try and push the back of his knee into your hand. So go right ahead. Yep. Perfect. And then I would just do it on the other side, do again maybe about 25 of those. And the last thing you're going to do is glute contractions, which might be probably the hardest of the three considering the position that they're in. So Nate, what I'm going to have you do is just contract your butt muscles so that it's going to actually, you're going to lift your legs off the table a little bit, okay? Ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't know why he thinks this is so funny. It's very serious, Nate. Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, good. So the last thing that the PT would get up and do here would have him walk, but obviously this general therapy session would probably be a little bit slower because this person's just gotten out of surgery, so it'd be a little tough. So Nate, what we're going to do is we're going to get you out of the bed here and over the chairs over there. So you can lift your legs here real quick. Just harder than I thought.
Tied on both sides. Velcro gets maybe tied.
Alright. Okay. So, the most important thing, like we said with the precautions, is that you don't want to get any hip extension. So the natural thing to do when you come over to the side of the table is to just sit up like this on the edge of the table, and I don't want you to do that. So because it was on your right side, when you come over the edge, I want you to keep your legs straight the whole time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important with when you're just sitting there and also when we start to get walking and you get up and when you're going to sit back down. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is you're going to get up to the edge of the table. I'm going to put a gait belt on you. We're going to put you over here and then I'm going to teach you the gait pattern. So the gait pattern I'm going to teach him is just the standard 3-point gait pattern that we learned in acute care. So what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have him push off the edge of the chair because his chair doesn't have arms. He's going to stand up. He's going to get both arms on here, and then he's going to go walker first, then he's going to go with his impaired leg, the leg that just had surgery, and then his other leg. So I'm just going to have him walk, you know, maybe a few feet, just going to have him walk to the end of the room and back, and then make sure he turns toward the strong side. Always going with that impaired foot first. And now, Nate, this is really important. Again, turning towards the strong side. When you come back to sit down, that you get that leg out first. So you want your leg out first, get lined up with the chair, leg out, find the chair, and sit down. Okay? Got it?